Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for dialing into the Children's Health Foundation's update this afternoon. My name's Summer Davies. I'm a member of the fundraising team here at the Children's Health Foundation, based in Brisbane at the Royal Children's Hospital. This is our very first supporter update, so I'm very grateful for you all for dialing in today. Thank you very much. Today we're going to hear about an amazing story about little Olivia and her very brave fight against leukaemia. Joining us this afternoon, we have Tracy Hunter, the CEO of the Children's Health Foundation. Tracy will update us on the foundation and how we continue to work wonders for sick kids each and every day. We are also very excited to have Kim, Olivia's mum, joining us. Kim has dialed in all the way from Hervey Bay today. How are you, Kim?
I'm well, thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us. Kim is going to be talking to us today about how the support of amazing people like yourselves and how the team at the Royal Children's Hospital helped her little daughter Olivia survive leukaemia. Tracy, I'll now hand over to you so you can tell us a little bit about the work of the Foundation and the amazing work we fund thanks to the generosity of our kind supporters. Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Summer, and good afternoon to everybody. Kim and everyone else who's on the line, thank you for your time. Everything that we do is because of you guys, so we just want to acknowledge that. You're probably aware that we've gone through some changes here at the Foundation, our name being one of them, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, just to let you know probably why we've changed our name. We're definitely building on the heritage of the Royal Children's Hospital Foundation that's been in existence for some 26 years, but we've now broadened, I guess, the mandate of the Foundation, and hence we have changed the name to reflect what we do around children's health right across the state. We, of course, continue to raise money for the vital research that's done here at the Royal Children's Hospital at the Medical Research Institute, and we will continue to raise money for the services that we provide in the hospital, where we have volunteers, we have music therapy, pet therapy, a whole range of things for children that help their stay in hospital to be less unpleasant than it would be otherwise. But I guess there's a couple of really important things that we're doing differently. We're looking with a view to, down the track, there'll be a new kids hospital built here, and we will support that as well. But the biggest change to our mandate is definitely that we are also now looking at raising money right across Queensland, where a percentage of that money will stay in local communities within Queensland, within that where the money has been raised. So what that means is, for example, if you go into your local Coles or Woolworths store, perhaps in whether it's Mount Isa or it's Kawana Waters or wherever it might be, in the future you'll be confident that some of the money is being retained in places like Hervey Bay, where Kim comes from today. And I think this is really important because children's health needs, they're not just about coming to hospital, but there are other things that happen in the communities that we're trying to help. And we're trying to provide some funds for regional hospitals so that children may not have to necessarily come all the way to Brisbane, but things like telemedicine can be used so that children can stay closer to home and be treated. So these are the sorts of things that we're doing as we move forward, and hence the name Children's Health Foundation. So a much broader range of fundraising opportunities for our supporters and partners. So thank you again for dialing in, and now I'm going to introduce Kim and hand over to Kim. We really value people like Kim, mothers, fathers, carers of sick children who take this brave step and speak quite openly about their experience, and it's not always easy. So thank you, Kim, and I'm just going to begin by asking Kim some questions. So are you there, Kim?
Yes, I'm here.
You're there? Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about Olivia's story. So just by telling us first about her, how old she is and what she likes doing, playing, etc.
Sure. She turned 2 on Sunday, and she's found a new love in her dolls. And so just today we've been at the hospital for the day in Hervey Bay, and Doll went along in her pram and had all the tests done as well. And her big brothers are probably her most important thing in her life. Her two big brothers who are 5 and 8.
Right. Okay. Yep, she's obviously being a real girl with dolls being her favourite.
Yes, well, we only had cars in the house and we never communicated dolls as much as she did, but she does.
So, Kim, what happened the first day she was admitted to hospital? Just talk us through what happened that day and all that it held for you.
Sure. We went and saw the doctor, our GP, that morning for a couple of reasons, one being that my eldest son was actually not well, which was unusual, and he picked up on Olivia not being 100%. We thought it was a urinary tract infection. He rang ahead to the Hervey Bay Hospital and wanted me to go straight there. He now admits he had grave concerns for her that day. He realised she was getting very sick very fast. And so we went straight to Hervey Bay Hospital. They took her straight in, so we knew that something wasn't right because in our experience you don't go straight in normally. And probably 4 doctors were hovering over her. And I'll never forget the look on one of the doctors' faces when they were trying to get blood out. And she looked at another doctor and we knew then it was serious. And so we got a friend to come and collect the boys, even though William was still very sick at that point. And the nurses were lovely. They took them away and gave them ice blocks and did everything we needed. And then we got taken round to paediatrics ward where Olivia started to get hooked up on many things. And that's where they told us she had leukaemia and we were about to board her helicopter.
Wow. And I'm not a mother, so I can only imagine what was going through your mind at that point in time. So, how did you...
I didn't think it was real, to be honest. It just didn't seem possible. Everyone was so lovely and caring, but it just didn't seem possible that I was about to get on a helicopter with my daughter, who only a couple of days earlier seemed okay. But it happened very fast. Everything happened, I think, it's all hazy now, but within a couple of hours. So I wrote out a list for my husband of what we needed, and he said he'd meet me down there that night with the other children.
And then they brought you down to Brisbane.
Yes.
And what about? It's always there's a lot of focus on the child who's sick at the time, and just curious as to how the rest of the family was and how your husband was, and with the other children. What impact that had on your family?
I think to be honest, I've spoken to a couple of mums over time. I think mums go into survival mode. We go into the mode of, okay, we have so much to consider here, let's get it sorted and let's get on with it. And once I boarded the helicopter, all those things ran through my head of what I was going to do with my boys, how I was going to deal with their schooling. Like, I even looked that far ahead. My husband was very much into a different survival mode, I suppose, where he wanted to collect the boys and get down and be with me. And then the boys arrived that night with him. I think it was about 7 o'clock by the time we all ended up back together at the hospital. Olivia was critical at this point, and my parents arrived from Toowoomba, and all we said to them was, please take the boys, we'll get back to you. And that was all we could do. We knew that they'd be safe and happy there. They were very scared. My eldest was very scared. He knew, he's a clever boy. He knew exactly what was going on because we had to tell him she was very sick. And it was heartbreaking.
So did she suddenly deteriorate, Kim? In terms of just in that space of a very short period of time?
She did. That day, every hour, she got worse. On the weekend leading up to her diagnosis, she just was very lethargic and she had spots on her, but we live on the beachfront where we are, and so it's not unusual to get a midgie or a mozzie in the house. So we put it down to that, but then by the time we got to hospital, she had a lot of spots, and she just deteriorated by the hour. By the time we got to the Royal Children's, she was quite lifeless on the bed.
And so what happened? I mean, take us through the experience of what happened from there.
We got taken into emergency. They were absolutely wonderful. And I don't remember the time frames. It seemed like hours, I will admit, but I'm sure it wasn't that long. We had our oncologist, Dr. Chris Fraser, come to see us, and he said, we've confirmed she has leukemia. We need to know what type. We need you to be patient and wait while we find out. And meanwhile, they just kept doing more tests, and she was black and blue by this point and virtually lifeless on the bed. I just kept holding her hand. I think it would have been an hour or so after he came back with her diagnosis of AML. We went off to PICU, Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, and we did leave there after a few days, but they took us back. We were there for 3 weeks in intensive care, and in that time she contracted swine flu,
no,
influenza A, and then when we got out and into Patterson ward, she actually got croup and rotavirus and norovirus all back to back. So it was those things that seemed harder than the leukemia. They seemed to have the leukemia under control, but then we'd get another hurdle, and that was really, really tough.
Yeah. And she was so little.
She was 4 months old on diagnosis.
4 months?
And 4 months, yes.
Wow, she's a fighter.
She is a fighter. She's very strong and very strong-willed, and she's doing great.
And that's been quite a journey for you.
It has. It has. It's been a roller coaster journey. I won't deny that.
No. And where are you at today with it? I mean, what's the prognosis now, and what keeps you awake at night now, if anything?
Nearly everything keeps me awake at night with her. Just the last couple of days, she's started vomiting for no reason, and that's stressful. 3 weeks ago, she broke her toe, and that's stressful too, and that was just a terrible accident. So everything keeps me awake. Today, we've just come from the hospital now. She's had all her routine tests done, and that's peace of mind for me every month to know that her blood results are good. Leading up to them, I get very anxious, and I look for every sign, anything I need to mention, like the vomiting, but as it turns out, she may have just had a little bug because her blood results are perfect today.
So, Kim, why would you encourage supporters to continue supporting?
I could name a million things. What the Hospital Foundation have done for us is extraordinary research. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have Olivia here with me today, and she has AML, which is very aggressive, and the research, we just need to keep researching to find out what's causing it and why the kids relapse. Relapse is a very scary thing for us, and why some relapse and why some don't respond to treatments. As you can imagine, I was there 7 months. I met a lot of children with different stories, and some sadly didn't survive. Why did that one not survive and this one did? As far as so many things, the Wonder Factory gave my boys a positive experience while we were there. They loved going to the Wonder Factory, so in all the sadness, they had this amazing place to go where they felt safe. And that to us was more than people will ever realise. They think it's just a playroom, but it's not. It's a place to take them so they don't have to see the ugliness.
That's a great comment. Thank you for that. Thanks, Kim, for sharing that. I know it's not always easy because you've got to relive it over and over, but we really do appreciate you sharing with the other supporters just what that journey was like. I might just hand back to Summer now.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tracy, and Kim, thank you so much for your honesty there. We asked our supporters to submit any questions they may have for you, Kim, prior to the teleconference. I've got a couple of great questions for you if you've got a couple more minutes.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. We had some lovely comments about how well Olivia looks in the photo on the invitation that we sent out to our supporters. Thanks for updating us on how Olivia is doing today. We're certainly sad to hear that she's got a bit of a virus and has been experiencing some illness over the last few days. But in order to answer this supporter's question, how would you say Olivia is doing today?
Olivia is a normal 2-year-old today. She's progressing in every way we expect her to. Her leg muscles aren't as strong as a normal 2-year-old. That's probably the only thing. And we think that's just because she was in hospital for so long, 7 months sort of in her bed. She never got to develop those leg muscles as normal. But not concerned about it. No one is. It will just fix itself over time. She's happy and she has a real appreciation for life. And I know everyone says that about their child. She really does.
Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you very much, Kim. We had a couple of supporters ask questions about those gorgeous beads that Olivia has around her neck in the photo. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. Olivia received the bead for every, I suppose, procedure or test she had to go through in her time in hospital. And I threaded them in order because to me they were really important because she was so young she couldn't diarise her experience. So we threaded them. I felt like I was threading these a lot actually, but we did thread them about weekly. And there were beads for blood tests and beads for a nasogastric tube. You'll notice there's a lot of those. They're the long ones because being the age she was, she just pulled it out really well. And, so I believe that they're a really positive way to look at her experience because they're strung across her room. She thinks they're pretty, and my boys have taken them to school for show and tell. So the kids all just think they're beautiful. And one day I'll sit down and go through them with her. I've kept a full notes on what they are, and they're just going to be her special thing in life.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Thank you, Kim. One last question from a supporter. What did your average day look like when you were in the Royal Children's Hospital with Olivia?
When I look at my average day, I think of myself in isolation because except for the odd few days here and there, I was isolated because of Olivia's rotavirus and norovirus. We didn't get to spend a lot of time in oncology. So my normal day was up probably 5:30ish for the 6 o'clock blood test, which they had every morning, and then we waited anxiously till 8 o'clock to get the results. At some point there, her specialists would come in, the oncology team. I had a nurse in the room with me at least every hour, depending on how she was, sometimes every half hour. So I suppose the biggest thing from a selfish point of view was I never, ever got that privacy. But from her point of view, she had ongoing care all day. So there were two sides to that one. And then we just keep on to where she should be each day. I'd make sure I had a list of all the medications she needed for the day so I could keep an eye on what was going on. And I had the same nurse for 12 hours, which meant a lot to me because they became my family. And then same again at night. Then quite often the night doctor might pop in if we've got any concerns, and then go through it all over again. So I never had time. People brought me books. I didn't read a single book. I actually didn't get time. It was very busy every day. And plus, I still feed her today, and I fed her all through, so I didn't actually leave her bedside unless I knew the nurse quite well and I'd duck out for 15 minutes or half an hour for fresh air occasionally.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing with us, Kim. This last question is from me. Is there anything else you would like to say to our supporters before we finish up today, Kim?
I'm very proud in one way. A lot of people wouldn't get this. We're very enriched by our experience. I'm very proud of my family, naturally. I'm very proud of the relationship I have with the Royal Children's Hospital, because I really feel that they make such a difference to so many people. And people only talk about the horror stories, but I don't have any. I am truly grateful and truly proud of everything that we've conquered, and we couldn't have done it without any of you. And we truly appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you very much, Kim. We are obviously so very proud of you and very proud of Olivia. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us today, Kim, and thank you very much to everyone who's dialed in. We hope this update has been really insightful for you and helped you to understand how each and every dollar that you donate makes a huge difference to the lives of Queensland children. Thank you very much. You're all working wonders for sick kids. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Kim.